Hey, welcome to Adobe Photoshop with Mr. Fogelson. All right, we're going to head on into our next skill, which is generate something into a scene. So I am going to jump right into Adobe Photoshop. Make sure you sign in using your Google account. Select your @NAC34 account. It's your username that got you into the computer. And then this is really important, make sure it is your company or school account. If you're able to get into Photoshop right away by just selecting Google account, that's awesome. This is just a friendly reminder how to get in just in case you weren't able to. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're in Photoshop. If you are having issues getting to Photoshop, there's the PS at the bottom on the dock, or in Google Classroom, there is the link in there in our assignment. All right, so I'm going to head back into Photoshop here. We're going to go to the Learn icon, which is the light bulb. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the assignment. You can go to View All Tutorials. And I'm going to go and scroll into Generate Something into a Scene. I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. And we're going to pick one of the photos, beginner starter photos. It's okay to pick one of these three photos to start with. And I'm going to pick the car scene here. All right. And we're going to watch the video as
Say you're interior decorating and want to visualize what a plant will look like in your room. Let me show you how to add objects using Generative Fill in Photoshop on the web. Your first step is to use a selection tool, like the rectangular marquee, to choose where you want your new object to be. Next, on your contextual taskbar, hop into Generative Fill. Here, you'll want to type out what you'd like to add to your scene. In this case, a large plant. Pressing Generate will start the process. And after a few moments, you'll be left with your new object and 3 variations to cycle between. Let's add one more. This time, a potted cactus on the shelves to the right. Even though the selection covered part of the shelves that would be in front of the new object, Photoshop will intelligently figure that out and make sure the object is placed properly. And just like that, you've added new objects using Generative Fill in Photoshop.
okay. I'm going to exit out of the video by pressing the X. All right, so we've got our scene here. We've got a lot going on with, I'm going to collapse these windows here. All right, so I am going to go ahead and go to the selection tool, and I'm going to go to this top part here by the window, and I'm going to select a rectangle. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Generative Fill, and I'm going to type in a person waving. I'm going to hit fill on that. And it's loading up the generation of what it's going to create, and hopefully it's a person waving. And it looks like there is a person waving. They're a little lower than I expected, but there we go, that's better. So I'm selecting the variations. That's like some sort of statue thing. I'm gonna go with the middle one here. That one looks great. And then I'm going to go to the next window. So I'm gonna do 2 here, 2 for the price of 1. I'm gonna go to that window there, and I'm gonna put in the Generative Fill, a potted sunflower plant. Oops. And I'm gonna hit fill. And it's loading up, so hopefully it'll look great. It's covering a lot of space, but we'll see what happens. All right, and we've got our variations too. Well, I know I did singular, but I kind of like a lot of these here. I like this one here the best because you can see the other flowers on the side there. So we're going to keep this. I'm going to save it and turn it in, and so that way I'm going to show you how to do that again. Again, you're going to go ahead and go to download, and we're going to download to the computer, and we're going to go ahead and make sure it's on our desktop. Remember, if you want to get back into it to mess around with the layers and stuff, Photoshop's the way to go, but we're going to save it as a PNG, save it to our desktop, and hit save. So that way it saves it. And then I'm going to go to my class. I'm going to exit out of full screen. Make sure I make my window big enough where I can see my assignment. I'm going to click on the assignment, generate something into a scene. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. Hit that plus add or create. File attachment option. And I'm going to drag and drop my photo that I just saved to my desktop into Google Classroom. And I'm going to let it load. And then I'm going to hit turn in, and presto. All right, it is submitted. Make sure you do hit turn in twice, so that way it submits and you're good to go. All right, so now it's your turn to generate something into a scene. Good luck and have fun.